the deal. Night mission. Been hearing about a Tesla plaid that's been looking for me. All right. Everybody wants to know how I like the Kong 2650. I've had it home for about a week now, and I can honestly give you my opinion on if you should spend your hard-earned money on this supercharger or another supercharger. So I'm not gonna make you guys wait. I'm gonna get right into it, but I want you guys to wait till the end and watch the whole video because I have a lot of things that I wanna say about this, and I have a lot of things that I wanna show you about this. This is almost gonna be like a semi-full review about this thing, and if it's right for you. Before I get into everything, and there's a lot to get into, I just wanna be honest with you guys and be upfront and let you guys know that I'm not being paid to say anything. I owe no allegiance to anybody. I paid for this supercharger with the money that I sold the Whipple from. So I'm not like being paid to say anything. This is my God's honest opinion. Yes, Greg has been sending me pulleys to try to get this thing to its maximum potential. But like I said, I owe no allegiance to anybody. This is gonna be a review for you guys if you should spend your hard-earned money on this Kong 2650 supercharger. I should also let you guys know, and this is kind of embarrassing to admit, Greg, don't hate me for this, is I didn't even want to go with this Kong 2650. James was like, a month before it came out, he's like, this is the move, this is what we need to put on your Trackhawk, it'd be perfect for you. And I fought him tooth and nail about putting this thing on, and he was like, you have to trust me, you have to trust me. I think him and Greg are only ones that really believed what this thing was capable of. I wanted to go a different route, and James was willing to let me go a different route, but he said this thing was gonna change the Hellcat Trackhawk game. He said this blower right here, this Kong 2650, is gonna set the Hellcat world on fire. That's what got me to put it on here. I was like, you know what? He made me a believer, and I was like, we gotta find out. In my defense, I don't think anybody really realized what this thing is capable of or was capable of. It was a big what if. And all the naysayers were saying stuff like, it's a 2650, it's basically a red-eye blower. Why would you waste your money on that? Or another thing was, the bricks are small, but the bricks are small. It's gonna heat soak and it's not gonna make any power after the first pull. And well, might have some data to fight that argument. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I gotta shout out ModalWorks.com about this. I will put the link in the description. This is their 130 millimeter big gun intake. And the first thing I say when I pop the hood on this thing is, that thing don't have a filter? That thing don't have a filter? You can get a filter with them. Christian's sending me one right now. I just ordered it. And their ice tank. I had the quartz tank on there before. It's over here now. I've got it sold. I just got to figure out how to ship the thing. This ice tank is a lot better because obviously with the quartz tank, everybody knows you can only fit the leg maker intake. Nothing against the leg maker intake, but with the Modell Works ice tank, it sits back a lot further than the quartz tank, and you can fit an array of a lot more intakes on here, whichever one you like. I am biased. I know who makes the best intake. This is the best intake. I can't wait to put their filter on, and we're gonna take the hood off and really show this Kong 2650 off. So got to shout out Christian, ModalWorks.com. Like I said, I will put the link in the bio if you wanna pick one of these two up. So without further ado, let's get into this draggy hit. Everybody hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe because we got a lot more to do with this Kong 2650. All right, here we go in Mexico with the Kong 2650. About to do a 60 to 130. Lord, protect me in my dangerous ways. Track mode, manual.
30.
think we got a winner. James with that hot sauce tune. Boy, they ain't ready for this. They ain't ready. I haven't even looked at the time. I don't know, that might be 3.8 Whipple territory, baby. Woohoo! I gotta send this log out. You know what? This ain't even as far as we can go. We can still drop it down to another pulley that Greg just sent me. Prototype What you think about that, boy? 433? I was super pumped after that hit. It just felt like that thing was coming off the ground on me. I've never felt anything like that in my life. As soon as I got done and out of there, I sent the log to James and he was like, hey, you know we can go faster. And I was like, what? Mind you, when this thing had the 3.0 Whipple, the best 60 to 130 time in better weather, a lot better weather, and a lot better DA, so a lower DA, it ran a 4.55. So not more than 0.2 of a second off. I was blown away. I could not believe it. I was on cloud 9. I was pumped. I texted Greg. He was like, what? And he was like, send me the draggy. I don't know if I put up the draggy. I'll put it up right here. Valid, as you see. Super pumped, but it made me even feel like more of a dummy for hesitating about going with this. This is the best decision that I've made since getting the Trackhawk, besides switching over to RSP, of course. Could not have done this without James and RSP. That's the two that go together. They're like, you know, a DNA strand. They have to be linked together. So along with the hot sauce tune from James from RSP and Greg Kong with this 2650, we were able to do that. And I can't forget Modell Works for their big gun intake and their icebox. It was an overall effort. Gotta shout out Demon TKM for the 426 that's underneath this blower, the Sipple Trans. Gotta shout out Sipple Speed, John and Jessica, appreciate y'all. Everything together helped me get to that 433, and I have really good news. It ran at even better time, and I can't wait to show you guys that. A lot of people are comparing this to the 3.8, and when I got it, I'm like, no, this thing ain't gonna compete with the 3.8. The 3.8's like tip top, like turbo level, twin turbo level. And this new time, I'm like, you know what? They're right. This thing does compete with the 3.8. All right, so now that I'm calmed down now, like I said, James made a revision, changed some things, and we headed back out there. I was really nervous to make this pull because I'm not used to this thing going this fast. You'll see from the video, everything I was saying, super nervous, super duper nervous. But yeah, we went out there to try to better that time, and you guys can see what happened. Okay, here we go. Round 2, track mode, manual mode, dear, sweet, 12-pound, 8-ounce baby Jesus. I know that's a big baby, but we're gonna need a lot of protection here. Protect us during this pull. Horsepower gods, protect us. And James, RSP, we trust. Demon TKM, we trust. Kong Performance, we trust. Sipple Speed, we trust. Let's go, baby. Okay, heart is a thumping. We are good to go here. Let's go! I don't know what the time was. Not that great, it don't look like, but I don't know. Felt like could have improved on the shift maybe. All right. I know what you guys are probably thinking. Cole, you said it ran a faster time, and it did. Just didn't do it that time because I think what happened is I left it in manual mode. That was my fault. You have to forgive me though, because if you guys are new to the channel, or even some of you don't even know me from the last channel that I had with 70,000 subscribers, is I've had a lot of things break on this Trackhawk. Engines, diffs, so it's like every time I make a hit, I get really nervous that something bad is gonna happen. And overall, making a YouTube video, you got a lot going on. Like, I forgot to key on my GoPro 360, so I didn't get the video or the sound from that. And then not putting it in manual mode like I was supposed to was just one more thing that I forgot. And you could see by the time, it didn't run that well of a time, but it does run a better time. And I'll probably put that video up right here. All right, last final one. Super nervous for this. $428. If that don't make you believe the hype, I don't know what will. This thing is the real deal. Best decision I ever made besides switching to RSP was putting this Kong 2650 on. This thing runs like a raped 8. It is insane. I cannot believe it. It does not make sense how a 2650 makes this much power. I told James that I would admit if I was wrong, and well, James, I was wrong, and you guys were right 100%. This thing really performs. A 428, that is Whipple 3.8 territory, not just territory, that is Whipple 3.8. There's guys that are tuned by RSP and other shops that run that number that have a Whipple 3.8. So it's insane what this little 2650 rotor pack can do, but it's all in the way that Greg designed it, the case. I got to get him to do an interview with me so he can tell you all the intricate details and everything what makes this blower really perform. I realize not everybody cares about the 60 to 130. Not everybody wants to be the fast boys like most of us, or like me. I like to go fast. Some people just like a Hellcat for the drama. You know, there's a lot of drama and flash owning a Trackhawk. The sound it makes, the exhaust note, but the supercharger whine too. And one of the questions that I got asked a lot too is, does it whine? Does it whine? Like, before people wanted to know the 6130, people were wondering if this thing whines. And I can tell you that yes, it does. And like I said, one of the cool things about owning a Hellcat is the whine. You know, when you get it, you put an intake on it, you just say that, wee, wee. People are always asking, what's making that noise? You know, like, I remember I let a girl drive it one time back and forth to work, and she was like, what's that noise it makes when I hit the gas? I'm like, that's a supercharger. And she was like in love, addicted to it. It was her favorite thing, even over the exhaust. I'm an old school guy, so I like the exhaust, but I won't lie, like, the whine is cool too. So before, you know, if you had to switch superchargers, Whipple or Magnuson, you lost that whine. Well, I'm glad to let you guys know that with the Kong 2650, you get the whine back, and I'm gonna try to insert a video here. If this don't make you guys a believer in the Kong 2650, I do not know what will. You're literally seeing it run a 4.56 with 2 people in a car on a fresh tune, and we didn't know what the tune was gonna do. And then we brought it back home and we ran that 4.33, and then we backed it up with the 4.28 with the tune revision. This thing is insane. Like I said, I'm glad that I spent my money on this. If you guys are on the fence about what you should spend your money on, this video should make up your mind, because this thing seems bulletproof. I made all those pulls and it's not making any weird noises or rattles or anything like that. And I mean, it really performs. Like I said, it hangs right up there with the 3.8, but you don't have to worry about any of the problems that come with the 3.8. I can't wait to take this thing to the track, but tonight, it's Friday night, and I got the night off, and I got my Kong performance shirt on, and we're gonna take the old Trackhawk out to a meet and see what trouble we can find there. I really hope I run into somebody that wants to put the Kong 2650 to the test. I might not even tell the people there that it is a Kong 2650. Most people, when you roll up, even if I have my hood pop, they're not gonna think anything because they're not gonna see the little Kong emblem right there, you know? They're not even gonna notice that. They're gonna say like, oh, you got a different hood, like, or you got a different lid. That's cool, I like that lid. I'm like, yeah, you know, Modell intake, pretty cool ice boxes, that. And they will never think anything about the Supercharger. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, maybe we can find some action. You know the deal, night mission. What do we say before we head out? Lord, protect me in my dangerous ways. We might as well get a cold start for the boys. Okay, a few things to talk about before I end this one. Obviously, the plaid and the final review on the Kong 2650 and if I think you should buy one or not. And before I get started, for legal reasons, that was none of my video at the end. That was somebody else's video. That wasn't me. Obviously, I would never do anything like that. I do all my stuff at the track. If I do anything with speed or anything like that, I do it at the track. So that's a video I got from a buddy, and I just put it out there. So that should take care of that. Anyways, let's start with the plaid, and then I'll move on to the Kong 2650. So I don't know that guy. I've been hearing about a Tesla plaid that's been looking for me. Obviously, he probably watches the channel, and I'm not ducking any smoke. If you want to look for me like that, we can find a place, just you and me, and we can head out somewhere in Mexico, or we can settle at the drag strip. I don't care. I'm not running from any smoke, especially with the new Kong 2650 and the RSP tune. That's just not what we do on Team RSP. So that being said, if he contacts me on whatever social media, we can line it back up. But about that particular instance, I don't know if you want to call that a race. So when I got that video from my buddy, what he had said happened when he was in his car, the car that the GoPro footage was taken from, that the Mustang and the Tesla plaid lined up without him, and they set up a race, they dropped back, and they rolled out. My buddy, who got the footage that was in the car, not me obviously, was just moving out to like keep up with him and to get it on, video. He didn't even like have it in track mode or manual mode. He said it was in auto and just, normal shifting auto mode, not in manual mode like you're supposed to have it. And he just took off just to try to hang with him and get video, and he ended up pulling. So let that say what it may be. Maybe the Tesla plaid wasn't 100% charged. Who knows? You guys, Tesla guys, can make up whatever excuse you want to make up for yourselves. Ride around with a generator in tow if you need a full battery all the time. So that's that. And then about the Kong 2650, if you guys can't already tell from my reaction from the 60 to 130, I really think you guys should get one. This is a great blower. I got to thank Greg again. Everything that he put it together in this thing is absolutely insane. 130 millimeter throttle body. I can't believe how crazy this is for being a 2650. I don't know what the Trackhawk is making to the wheels now. I'm guessing it's making more than it was before. So how I calculated how much horsepower the Trackhawk makes to the wheels is, from my last pass at the drag strip when it ran a 943, you take the ET, you take the mile an hour, which it ran a 148 and some change, and then you take the weight of your vehicle. And you can find the calculator online. I punched all those numbers in, and it gave me 1,212 horsepower to the wheels. So I'm guessing it's making a lot more than that. The only concrete way of knowing is if we get this thing to the track, which I'm gonna do next week. They end up pushing Milan's opening day back because they're redoing some concrete, but I'm gonna drive out to 131. It's like an hour, 2-hour drive for me. I'm gonna get a trailer, tow the Trackhawk out there, and we're gonna get after it, because I know everybody wants to see what this thing can do, and I wanna see what this thing can do with the new Kong 2650 as well. So I really think you guys should buy one. I think it's worth your hard-earned money, and I don't regret spending mine. And I think you guys are just seeing the tip of the iceberg about what this thing could do. If I get another car, well, here, let me back up. This blower, this Kong 2650, has dictated about what other car I'm gonna put in this spot for the summer. So that should tell you everything you need to know about this blower. The hype is real. You've seen the numbers. I haven't done a 0 to 60 yet. That's what I should do. But like I said, I like to do all my stuff at the track, so that's where we're gonna do that at. And I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of speechless about this Kong 2650. I kind of feel like a fool because I didn't believe in it from the get-go. But I don't think anybody really did. It was a big what if. Nobody knew. A lot of naysayers were saying like, oh, it's only a 2650. That's basically a red-eye blower. The bricks aren't big enough. Heat soak, which I know I didn't include the temperature on the IC coolant after I made the pass, but I think it jumped up like 10, 15 degrees, and then it was right back down within a minute. So IATs or intercooler temps is not going to be a problem if you have the interchiller like I do, and most of you should have if you don't already. Especially if you're racing one of these Hellcat engines, you need that IC chiller or whatever chiller you want to get. I have a forced induction one, but whatever you want is up to you. anyways, to finally end this video, I'm tired of talking. This thing is amazing. Shout out to Kong, Greg Kong. Shout out to James RSP for getting me right, taking the time out of his day. Greg for taking the time out of his day and then shipping me some prototype pulleys. Can't thank him enough. That speaks volumes about his character and how much he wants his Supercharger to succeed. And I really think it's gonna succeed. I hope it does. We've been needing a replacement or another Supercharger for this Hellcat platform for a long time now. And I can't thank Greg enough for putting in all the effort and hard work to get this thing out here. But I think I've talked enough. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, because there's gonna be a lot more action content as soon as we get to the track. But until next time, everybody take care and stay blessed.